but they'll pull both the guard and tackle around to lead through the hole. Sometimes they'll give it to the running back through that, and occasionally the quarterback will take it himself. But I think they're going to want to run that ball first and then try to get some one-on-one stuff on the outside to get their really good athletes out in space. Defensively for Parsons, they're going to want to stop the run, number one, make Frontenac more one-dimensional, and use their size to change that line of scrimmage on the Raiders to stop that run. For the Frontenac Raiders on offense, spread them out to be able to run that football. If nobody – well, it looks like, I'm sorry, Rob, it looks like we're going to do the national anthem here. So
let's go with the Parsons Viking Band and our national anthem. Maybe a light breeze from north of Ted, but shouldn't have much impact on this contest. And the Vikings going to defend the south goal. And the Raiders with their backs to the north goal here in quarter number one. Brendan Ishimura back to receive the kick, along with Trey Strand. And also, I believe that's Brent Chance who has dropped back there. And the kickoff. Low line drive far side. Strand takes it on the run. Full head of speed. Breaks the first wave of tacklers, and he's finally corralled and put out of bounds near midfield. That's the one thing I like about Strand. When he gets the ball, he goes. He doesn't hesitate.
It generally goes straight
May take a while to get a handle on it, but
Well, he was running full speed, and this ball was kind of bouncing. Or line drives, a difficult catch. Good concentration to take it in, and then he does have good speed, and I do like that. He just takes it and goes. So excellent starting field position for the Raiders offense to begin the game.
So in the gun, that is Jake Beckman, running back to his left, is Age Clothier. Got wideouts to both sides, slot to the right side. Raiders from midfield. There's a give, Clothier, and he's tripped up, brought down, limited to a gain of a yard down to the Vikings' 49-yard line.
Well, and this was inside trap, and the man who was the trap man did a great job of getting off of that trap block. He's the one that shut that play down, limit that to the short gain.
So the Raiders will face a 2nd and 9, and they will be at the Vikings' 49-yard line. Coming wide to the right is Chance, wide left Ishimura. Running backs in the eye this time, behind quarterback. Beckman under the center. And there's a give to the tailback. That's Rayo, and boy, nothing. He got stood up, and he actually lost a yard.
Well, I mentioned in the keys that the Parsons going to want to change that line of scrimmage. That's exactly what their defensive line did right there. Push the offensive line of the Raiders back about 2 yards, and that was about the loss on the play. So the Raiders' offensive line going to be outsized. Nothing new again about that. They've got to stay lower and keep those feet moving.
3rd and 10 Raiders. Football resting at midfield. McDaniel wide left, slot left Rayo. Well, he
just back to the line.
He got back to line of scrimmage. It was almost mishandled back there. I don't quite get what they were trying to do.
I think they were trying to do the jet sweep, but I think the tailback thought maybe he was supposed to get the ball, so he stepped up when the ball was snapped, and the two backs ran into each other. Lucky that ball didn't end up on the turf.
So 2nd and 10, out of the gun, quick hitch, left side, Loholtz makes the reception. He bobbled it, but was able to find the handle and able to pick up 5.
Yeah, thinking about running before he secured it, and again, fortunate that ball didn't hit the turf too. Now it would have been an incomplete pass, but that's a big difference between 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 4.
So the Vikings, with that 3rd and 4, Priest rushed, forced to scramble. Penalty flag goes down in the backfield in the area where you may have gotten a hold. Now he was stopped after a gain of about 1.
Chop block.
Okay, chop block. And now, I think you go ahead and take the 4th and about 4 and make them punt.
I think so. It was a thing noticed on film too that with a lot of these quick passes, the line for Parsons, they do like to cut the defensive line to get their hands down so they can't deflect the ball. Now, that wasn't going to be a quick pass, but I think somebody tried to go low in contact with somebody up high, and that's what you risk. If not everybody's on the same page and somebody tries to cut, you're going to get those chop blocks. It looks like the Raiders are going to accept it.
Oh, they are going to take the field position, so.
I'm a little surprised by that. I would have thought they'd have set up the 4th down for the punt, but Coach Smith decided to push him back, hoping that his defense can hold in better shape than what they just did.
And it sets the Vikings back to their own 9-yard line where they face a 3rd and 20. Well, they got the 4 splits to the right side, 1 left. Freese out of the gun, stands back at his own 3-yard line. Good snap. Looking long. Forced to scramble. Some pressure. And, boy, he runs out of time, and he's brought down at the 9-yard line, about the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, and the rush gets there, but to me this is a coverage sack. Ishimura is out on an island on this near side with the 1 receiver, and to me it was pretty obvious that they were going to throw this deep to the near side from the get-go. Ishimura.
Well defended is, I think that's Ishimura, or was that Clothier on the receiving end? I think that was Ishimura, and, boy, not much going, and a Raider down on the field.
Yeah, looks like it's one of the linemen. I can't quite tell the number just yet, but honestly, it was a poor block on the outside. This play was probably there for a few yards gain, a decent gain. Poor block on the outside. The corner did a good job of fighting through it and kind of blew up the play from the get-go, and still can't quite tell who the Raider is that's down.
And they're working on a leg, and it's not looking like your cramp. I think he must have got ankle or any of that. One of the Raiders down. 5:01 left here in the scoreless first quarter. 28-yard line.
You actually have some early scores, Rob. Some Labette County at Fort Scott. The Grizzlies with a 6-0 lead. Anderson County at Girard. Girard has a touchdown. They're up 6-0. And Caney has an early lead on Galena. They're up 8-0.
So some early scores, and is that Buddy Sexton? They're helping to the sideline, and boy, he's not putting any pressure on that right leg.
Yeah, it looked like they were checking his knee.
Oof. Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We're at Parsons, and we've gone through a scoreless first quarter. Frontenac Raiders and the Parsons Vikings. And first quarter, basically, the Raiders won field position, but that's about the summary of the first quarter.
Although it's, I think, a good first quarter coming out of last week's game. The way the Raiders played, they've come out, they've handled some of the size, basically, other than maybe once. Now it's just a matter of finishing off a drive.
So 2nd and 6, Raiders from the 26 of the Vikings. Beckman gives it straight up the middle. And still on his feet, that's Clothier, and he drags a tackler down near the 20, pickup of 6.
Well, just never stopped moving those feet, and it looked like everything was just kind of at a standstill, and all of a sudden he squirted right out of there. Just a good hard run to make this a 3rd and short.
3rd and a yard for the Raiders from the Vikings' 20-yard line. Beckman looks to the far side to get the play. Again at halftime, we'll have the unofficial stats and scoring summary for getting by Freese. And the Parsons Vikings 1st and 10, football resting inside the Frontenac Raiders 48. Freese going to try the left side this time, and he dives down near the 47, maybe the 46-yard line for a gain of about 3.
I'll tell you, Story at the defensive end did a good job getting upfield, made him bounce it just a little bit further deeper into the backfield than he wanted to. Rayo with a good job of getting off of the block by the receiver, got into his legs, limited that gain to just a couple.
So 2nd and 8 for the Vikings, football resting just inside the Raiders' 47-yard line. Trips right, one wide out to the left side this time. Again, Freese out of the gun, blocking back to his right, looking to throw. Boy, he avoided the first tackler, now the second, but not the 3rd and 4th and 5th, and he's brought down back at the 48-yard line of the Vikings. loss of about 5.
And Bollinger coming on the blitz again. I think every passing situation he has came and he's been getting home. Forced the quarterback to pull the ball back down, and then when he tried to reestablish, was able to get back up and get him again.
Timeout taken Parsons. 9:39 left here in the scoreless first half. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM. Was Cale Bridwell.
A nice throw into a very tight window as the pressure was coming. They decided to blitz. Bridwell does a good job getting past the sticks and curls right in between the zone. Beckman put it right on him. This Frontenac first down brought to you by Larry Barrett, Body Frame and Towing.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Vikings 48-yard line. Wide right Cleveland this time. Wide left Ishamir. Running backs in the I. Behind Beckman under the center. Kroenke. There's a give to the tailback, Rayo, and what gets past the line of scrimmage and still battle his way down near the, let me give him about the 43-yard line.
And really the first time going out of double tight I that the Raiders were able to run up the middle and have success. Just ran ISO to that right side, got a nice hole over there, a good hard run.
So second, let's call it 4 for the Raiders. Football resting at the Vikings' 43-yard line, down to 6:35 left here in the scoreless first half. Cleveland comes wide to the left. Slot to the right is Ishamira. Also joining there is Clothier. Single setback rail behind Beckman. And the little trap action to Ishamira trying to turn the left corner. And he lowers his shoulder and he's bumped out of bounds and limited the gain about 1. Pretty well defended there.
Yeah, and it was the first man that went up there. And I think that was number 13, Loadholz, that made him bounce it a little bit further back than he wanted to, because he may have been in business if he could have got out there quickly, but happened to bounce it a little bit, took a little bit longer to develop, and Parsons' pursuit was able to get to him.
So 3rd and 2 Raiders from the Vikings 40-yard line. 6:16 left here in the first half. No score. And on his feet, and boy, they're trying to strip him, and he makes it out to the 30, and I'll tell you what, that was a wise choice there. I'm trying to see who ended up picking that up, but
it's number 11.
Yeah, nice effort there.
Barkas. Although I think that's one of those the coach was going, no,
Barkas,
good job.
Right, yeah. And the Raiders a little, rather than finding the football and going to down it, he got to the side, and Barkas picked it up, and nice return out to the 30. So the Vikings will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line with 4:07 left first half, no score. Gosh, 4 wideouts left side, 1 to the right. Priest out of the gun. Good snap, quick hitch left side. They try it again, and that is getting a block, and nice effort there by Daquan Johnson. And we've got a first down.
And again, that's just a tough alignment for the Raiders, and you can almost see a little confusion. The linebacker not sure if he's supposed to split out or not. To me, not far enough out there. Had too long of a way to run to try to catch up with Johnson.
So 1st and 10 Vikings from their own 41-yard line, down to 3:48 left here in the first half. No score. Out of the gun. Going over the middle, putting it up for grabs, and too tall as that pass was intended for Daquan Johnson. Another defender was in the neighborhood, receiver was in the neighborhood, but overthrown.
Yeah, I think they were going for Johnson, and Chastain had some coverage underneath on him, and I tell you, new free safety.
It up, and it is dropped.
Simply a field position, plus, you've got to get 15, 16 yards for a first down, but, Johnson was not surprised to have a pass coming towards him at all. I think this was by design. Just not able to quite haul it in as the pressure on the punter probably saved the day on that one. But now you've set the Raiders up in, unbelievable field position. Plenty of time on the clock with 3:10 to go.
First and 10 for the Raiders from the 33 of the Vikings. Kubler in there, motion left to right, fakes the handoff, does a slant. That's Ishamira, and he avoids the first tackler, and he's dragged down as he gets about the 23-yard line. Looks like he may have gotten the first down.
Well, really good catch as he comes up just a little bit lame on that ankle. He kind of got crinkled up a little bit with the tacklers, but a good job catching it and not, the throw was a little bit low, and he did a great job of catching it, juking one man, getting the first down. And this Frontenac first down brought to you by Larry Barrett, Body Frame and Towing.
First and 10 Raiders from the Vikings 22 with 2:49 left here in the first half. Looking for our first score here. Out of the gun, Beckman gives it. That's Clothier. Boy, nothing doing. He got collared and maybe able to lean in for about half a yard, but not much.
Well, quite frankly, Robbie missed the hole.
Yeah. Second and 13 Raiders from the 15 of the Vikings. Out of the gun, that's Beckman blocking back to his right. That's Bollinger, option right side. Beckman going to keep it, and boy, he's brought down shy of the 10-yard line. Maybe able to pick up 4, but that's it.
And now the Raiders are going to take a timeout.
With 18.4 seconds remaining in this scoreless first half, and Frontenac got to face a 3rd and 9. Football shy of the Parsons 10-yard line, and like I said, that should be the end of the timeouts, if I'm not mistaken, for the Raiders. And
they had to use one early in the first quarter, I believe it was, called timeout. So that should be it. And I don't think there's enough time to try to run this ball unless you get out of bounds or pick up a first down. I'm not sure there's enough time to run this play and then try to run another one. So I think the Raiders really are
looking at 2 throws here.
Yeah. I tell you, I would like to see Ishimura on one side of the field out by himself, throw a short pass and see if he can make a play. I think that might be your best bet.
And if you're talking first down, you got to get inside the 3. So,
well, and you tell him if you got to head to the sideline too. Just in case you can't get in, you can get out of bounds and stop the clock that way.
So here we go, 3rd and 9. Frontenac from the Parsons 11 Vikings. Quarterback Gage Freese, 6 carries, 25 yards. Joel Schotty, 1 carry for 3 yards. Patch Lodeholtz had a carry, no yardage, and Daquan Johnson a carry for 7 yards in that first half through the air. Gage Freese unofficially 6 completions, 8 attempts for 33 yards, and Lodeholtz. Rob Strandback with Randy Souther. We're at halftime, no score between Frontenac and Parsons. And, boy, if you try to pick the coach's brains, imagine they had a lot of thinking, a lot of trying to decide what to do. And but defenders, and he dives out across the 45 out near the 47-yard line. Boy, they're pretty well defended, but there's just that speed got him around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Raiders were all over it in pretty good position, but then didn't quite get the edge perfectly set. And give Trey Strand a lot of credit coming over from that free safety. He's a guy that has some speed that can stay with these athletes from Parsons, and he got into the shoelaces and prevented a big play.
So 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. Football resting at their own 46-yard line. Priest back in at quarterback out of the gun. Looking to throw, does left side, and going down to make the catch. No, incomplete. Needs a yard.
And he had no lead blocker this time, and just 2 offensive linemen to that side. That's a tough run to make, and just the speed of Parsons was able to catch up with him. But that one really didn't stand much of a chance.
So 1st and 10. Vikings defense holds once again. Parsons will start from its own 38-yard line with 8:48 left here in the third quarter. No score.
We'll see if the Raider defense can get another stop, get that ball back to the offense again.
So 3 wideouts left this time, 1 to the right. Again, Freese with Johnson. Johnson with the snap, and this time he gives it to Freese, and He drags the tackler around near the 39. Boy, that was a tough yard out of Freese, who actually was at the running back spot that time.
Yeah, and they're finally tried that kind of counter zone read, but the Raiders again stuffed it. And the Raiders have played a lot of three-man line tonight instead of the normal four, but still getting penetration into the backfield and just able to stuff that run. But I still think Parsons needs to continue to try to do that, try to force the Raiders to commit more people to the run.
2nd and 9. The penalty flag goes down.
False start.
Procedure, false start, yes. It's a 5-yard mark off against the Vikings.
I think that may have been on the wide out here on the near side of the field at Williams. Because Ishimura was slow, getting lined up on him. I think maybe got a little antsy about running his route.
2nd and 15 for the Vikings now from their own 33 after that 5-yard mark off. Yates goes wide left. Lode Holtz joins him out there. Also, Nolan Prohl rolling left, pumping, putting it up, and man is open, caught. And that is Lode Holtz, makes a move, cuts to the middle. He is loose inside the 35, 30, 25, wrestled down at the 20-yard line.
Well, and they finally were able to break a tackle on the outside.
The 31, it looks like.
I believe you're right. And now this time, a good block on the edge. The defensive end not able to get up the field, so he didn't have to bubble backwards at all. Able to get to the corner and get a nice gain on first down. I tell you, I've seen Parsons linemen, a lot of hands on hips, even with the ball on offense last time, walking up to the line of scrimmage. You wonder if they're starting to get a little fatigued.
2nd and 4 Raiders from their own 31-yard line. There's a snap, and there's a give. That little, had nothing to do it. Now that's the one, looked like they scored on it. It broke clean, and this time the Vikings defense held, and they threw Bollinger for a loss of about 3 yards.
And that was Rodney Welch from 56. And I tell you, on film, made a lot of plays. Been a little bit quiet tonight. And quite frankly, just looked a little bit tired. But that time, they got some penetration, able to change that line of scrimmage back 2 yards back into the backfield, caused the loss.
3rd and 7 for Frontenac. Football just outside the Raiders' 32, flirting with the 28-yard line. Outside the 27, flirting with the 28. And Beckman out. And it's picked off. And running along the far sideline, Johnson, he's going to return it for a touchdown.
Well, it's a great break on the ball. This is not very well executed by the receiver or quarterback, quite frankly. I don't think the receiver did a good enough job of selling the deep route, to push the corner off of him. And the quarterback's got to read that cornerback because he wasn't very far away. And it's a great play by the corner, but not a great route and not a very good throw.
So a little close to 30 yards on that pick six, and in to attempt the extra point.
And you kind of had a feeling in this game it was going to be a turnover that was going to allow somebody to score, and sure enough, there it is.
Oh, the Vikings short a man, and the kick is up now. It was good, but that's going to be, ain't going to happen. They had Vikings had somebody coming from the near sideline, and so they'll have to redo. Daquan Johnson, and you mentioned that the break on the ball was perfect, and of course, once he gets loose along the sideline, you're not going to catch him.
No.
And it was about a 30-yard pick six for the first points of the game.
Just penalties that this Raider offense just really can't afford.
Again, Cleveland wide right or wide left, slot left, that's Rayo. Single blocking back to the right side of Beckman. Out of the gun, good snap, keeping the football. Now pitches it to Bollinger, and he's brought down after a gain of a couple out to the 45.
Yeah, nice play by Shivey, able to read that well. When you do that option, you don't have the fullback dive. Part of it's not a triple option, so that linebacker doesn't have to commit up the middle. He does a good job at chasing this one down. Just a good play by the middle linebacker. Bollinger not really anywhere to go.
2nd and 13 for the Raiders from their own 45. Ishimura comes wide left. One wide out to the right. There's a pitch to Ishimura, and it is, tried to take it over his shoulder as it hung up a little, and he couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, he kind of went after it with one hand instead of going after it with two, and he was one-on-one out there with the corner. If he catches that to the sideline, breaks the tackle, Then it becomes a foot race, and who knows, but just not able to quite haul it in.
As Tanner Barkas, the sophomore, is out there on Ishamira, and it was close. 3rd and 13, Raiders from their own 45. Trips left. Beckman, this low snap, rolls left, looking to throw, puts it up, and it is well out of bounds, falls incomplete.
No, didn't really have anybody open down the field, had some pressure. Didn't look like he was going to be able to run with it either, and just kind of threw that one away, which is probably the best play he could have made.
Now that little breeze kicking up now, looking from the north, kind of feeling, looking at the flag, it's getting a little more aggressive up there. So a punting situation. Story there. Okay, there we go. It's going to be about a second now. Don't move the. We're going to go about 2nd and 9 instead of 2nd and 4, I believe. Okay, now they're getting back. Okay.
Yeah. Whoa, now
wait a minute.
Hold on.
I don't know about that.
I think they finally actually have this right. But
so 2nd and 14 from the 19.
Just
Raiders from the Vikings.
None of them too sure.
No, I don't know now.
I do believe it's correct, though.
Okay. 2nd and 14, Frontenac from the Parsons 19. Start of the 4th quarter. Parsons a 6-0 lead. Out of the gun. Beckman rolling left. Gets a block. Trying to turn the corner. No. Just took too long, and they got dropped back about the 21, 22-yard line.
Well, and, this was kind of a strange play the way Beckman reacted, because the receivers started blocking like this was a run all the way, and honestly Beckman looked like he was looking to throw the football. So I don't know which ones had it right or who had it wrong, but that play was kind of messed up from the get-go.
So 3rd and 16 Raiders from the Vikings 22-yard line. So I think still got 2 more shots at it with 11:25 remaining. Parsons up 6-0. Out of the gun, Beckman. Single blocking back behind him. Looking to pass. Some pressure. Nothing doing, and he's dragged down at the 25-yard line and lost a couple more.
Well, I thought he had a receiver open in the seam if he zips it into him. And then late had the tight end crossing. Looked like that was going to come open, but by that time the pressure had gotten to him. He really had nowhere to run, so the pocket collapsed.
So 10:50 remaining. Parsons protecting a 6-0 lead, and Frontenac with a 4th. That's called about 18 from the Parsons 25-yard line. Again, out of the gun, rolling. Pass overthrown, falls incomplete. Ishamira all over Johnson at 5-yard line.
Excellent coverage, and that's more really just a throwaway by Freeze. No place to go, and good rush again. Linebacker came up with some outside leverage, wasn't going to let him get out. I'll tell you, the Raiders have done a very good job limiting Freeze scrambling tonight. They've done very well with that.
So Lode Holtz to punt, stands in his end zone. And the Vikings, a little tardy coming from the sideline. Ishamira back to receive the punt, stands at the Vikings' 45-yard line. Boy, high snap, and coming down with it is Lode Holtz. Gets the punt away. High punt, short punt. Now it checks up, and it takes a Raider roll. And Raiders, Frontec's going to start about the 15 of the Parsons Vikings.
It's about a 4-yard punt. So that one went straight up in the air, the high snap, and then got a little bit of pressure. So didn't really hit the ball very well. And you talk about a golden opportunity for Frontenac. This is, I've said it earlier, but this one really has to get into the end zone right now.
Parsons a 6-0 lead, 9.5 minutes remaining. Frontenac will start 1st and 10 from the Viking 15. Cleveland splits wide left. Story tight right. Yeah, got a couple of wings right side, power football right side, and that's where Beckman's going to go, and able to turn the corner and bumped out at about the, looks like he got down about the 13, maybe the 12-yard line.
A decent pickup. I really thought he could have cut that one back in a little bit, but I tell you, Beckman's ran the ball pretty effectively tonight. I really can't argue with him on his decisions where he's ran the ball.
So 2nd, and it's called about 7 for Frontenac from the Parsons 12-yard line. Clock stops at 9:25 after Beckman went out of bounds. Now in the gun. Blocking back to his left, looking to throw and out. And boy, he puts up
quick hitches, but the Raiders' defensive backs were all over those. The back kind of went out to the flat late. Rayo read it very well, came out and put a pretty good hit on him, but then he comes out of the game. I'm not sure what could be wrong with him after making a nice play.
So second, let's call it 16 for the Vikings. Now back to their own 7-yard line. Getting out of the gun. Good snap. Boy, they quick hitch left side. Trying for a block. That is Yates. And, boy, they stepped out of bounds. He's still running, but he did step out of bounds right near the 10-yard line. So not much of gain on that, what they lost on the play before about.
Yeah, and, those receivers, they're not just fast. They've got good size, too. If you don't get a pretty decent shot on them, they're going to bounce off some tackles, and that one was close. If he doesn't step out of bounds, he was going to gain quite a few more yards.
3rd and 11 for the Vikings from their own 11-yard line. 8:18 remaining. Parsons with that 6-0 lead. Trips right. Couple of wideouts left. Freese alone in the backfield with the snap. Forced to put it up over the middle. Oh, off the hands of the intended receiver, Johnson. And, boy, the Vikings wanting a flag as they kind of thought Johnson got grabbed. But pass falls incomplete.
I think the defensive back was falling down. As he fell down, kind of put his hands out and clipped him a little bit. And I think maybe the officials thinking a little incidental contact since he was falling down. But Raiders, again, probably just got a little bit of a break on that one.
So another punting situation. And, again, the punt going to go into that little north breeze that's kind of kicking up. Ishimura standing out at the Vikings 40. Lodeholtz in the end zone. Good snap this time. Not as much pressure. Nice punt, but into the Vikings. Beckman. And nothing. Straight up the middle, and boy. That was Rayo, and he hit a stone wall and actually ended up losing a couple.
Yeah, that was Chris Heisey. Just came in basically untouched. Throw him for a loss, and really probably one of the few just completely missed assignments by that offensive line all night.
3rd and 8 Raiders from the Vikings 22-yard line. 5:14 remaining. Parsons leads at 6-0. Out of the eye. The running back's behind Beckman. Beckman going to keep it. Try and turn the corner. Pumps once. He's going to get the first down, and then he is thrown down. But I believe he got the first down. Pump fake kind of bought him some time to get a first down.
Well, he was trying that anyway. I'm not sure it did, but that's one of those tuck it and go, young man, tuck it and go. But he does well enough to get past the chains. They haven't moved the chains yet. Not sure why, and now they're moving them. And again, this first down brought to you by Larry Barrett, Body Frame and Towing.
So the Raiders 1st and 10 from the Vikings 13-yard line, trailing 6-0 with 4:52 remaining. Trips right. Beckman out of the gun. One blocking back to his right. Clothier. Beckman going to keep it. Straight run, and he's dragged down shy of the 10.
Right now, though, that's okay. 2-3 yards first down, that's okay. If you can pick up 4 or 5 here, set yourself up for 3rd and short. Of course, 4 down territory now. And they've stopped the clock here.
Timeout, Parsons. 4:25 remaining. Parsons leads at 6-0. Frontenac threatening. We'll be back in 30.
In your kicker, he can go out there and knock this through.
Cale Bridwell out of Kyle Kubler's hold. Spotted at the 10-yard line. All important extra point. Raiders try and break the 6-all tie with 2:09 remaining. Snap down. Placement up kick is a penalty flag. Before the kick, offside Parsons. So, encroachment. Well, I thought it's dead. If you're offsides, that's encroachment, and the play's dead, isn't it?
I would think so, and he was blowing the whistle before.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
high school, you can't get back in high school. Once you're offside, you're offside.
And I didn't see a signal either for the kick itself. I mean, the Raiders acting like it must have been good, but.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt he kicked it straight and true. In a way, you don't want the offsides, but that's not the way it works.
Right. I mean, it's dead ball. He did it hopes of not getting somebody hurt, So we'll do it again. Also a break. I guess in the form of a penalty against the Vikings, but
well, think of it as a warm-up kick for Bidwell, and
there you go.
Made it the first time, he'll make it the second time.
So here we go. Now, are they deciding whether they need to move it halfway, half the distance, or just decline it and go like the last one? Here we go. Okay. Kubler to hold. Bridwell to kick. Good snap. Placement down. Kick is up. Plenty long enough, and it is good. So Bridwell tacks on the extra point. Frontenac leads at 7-6 with 2:09 remaining. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac football on 103.5 FM. Trips left, one wide out right. Again, Freese blocking back to the right side is Johnson with the snap. Pressure. A little swing right side. Johnson's got it and looking for a block. And, boy, I don't think he's going to get the first down. He's going to be a couple of yards shy. Boy, nice open field tackle there. And looked like maybe the Vikings had something going, but Chance came up and made the stop.
Yeah, absolutely, because the Raiders brought the blitz, which takes the man who's supposed to cover the running back out of the backfield out of the equation. And it was McDaniel really makes this play. He comes up and with some outside leverage and kept Johnson to the inside and let Chance get into his legs to limit that gain, set up this fourth down. But, boy, I tell you, that was a little scary when he caught it, but really good work by both McDaniel and Chance on the far side of the field.
So a timeout taken with 1:21 remaining. Frontenac leads it by 1, 7-6. Parsons faces a 4th and 2. Vikings at their own 42-yard line. And, obviously the Raiders defense looking for a stop, and the Vikings looking to continue this drive. And
I know Parsons has used one timeout. I'm not sure if they've used two. I know they've used one.
Yeah,
I do. So they either have one or two timeouts left, but obviously fourth down, this is huge. And they do have one other game that went final. An update on Galena at Caney. Galena wins 34-16.
So the Bulldogs remain unbeaten and go to 2-0 in district play. And Caney Valley, I believe that's their first loss of the season. They are now 1-1 in district. They'll be at Frontenac next Friday. So here we go, 4th and 2, Vikings. In their own 42-yard line. Quick hitch left side, and it is caught. And it's a first down and more in midfield to the Raiders. 40, 35-30, cuts back, and he's going to go all the way. Daquan Johnson, what a run. As he was hemmed in, the Raiders missed a tackler, and he was all on his own, and he took it to the house. Penalty flag is down.
Yeah, well, there's a block in the back. Pretty clear block in the back. Right at the beginning of this play, I did not see the flag go down. But there it is, and yes, block in the back. It is called. To me, this was obvious on the sideline, plain as day, and it does get called, and this one's going to come back until it really mattered at the very end.
So a 7-6 win for Frontenac, and boy, some of the Vikings coaches still talking to the officials about that call, and in any event, the Raiders a 7-6 win over Parsons. We'll be back for the unofficial stats scoring summary and update some scores. And Coach Mark Smith will be up here for some post-game comments. And Frontenac wins at 7-6. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Frontenac football on 103.5 FM.
It was obvious.
Rob Strand, Randy Southard back at Parsons. Frontenac escapes with a 7-6 win over the Vikings. Cruised to 3-2 on the season, 1-1 in district play with Caney Valley coming in on Friday. Taking a look at the unofficial stats and scoring summary. We've got for the Vikings,